Now here we have Usain Bolt lawyer asking for the government to release the Kroll report. What is the Kroll report? The Kroll report is the report of the investigation that was done by the investigators, I think from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, into the SSL scandal. Now this report would shed light on all of what the investigators had found in the investigation of SSL. Now this report doesn't belong to the government, because I can recall when Nigel Clark was financial minister and employed these investigators and were using taxpayers' money to fund the investigation. Number 28 did a broadcast and he said the people them of Jamaica wanted the government to do investigation, so they are gonna use the taxpayers' money for do this investigation. Now this investigation was done with taxpayers' money, but now the report, the government doesn't want to release it to the public, which is the reason why you use taxpayers' money for do the investigation. But now you hold on to the report and don't want to release the report to Usain Bolt lawyer, to other members of the public, so we can have a full understanding of what happened with this SSL saga.
So PM, over on Instagram and TikTok, by far the number one question that people wanted me to ask you was about SSL. We know that the entire situation has eroded investor confidence. The markets have been performing poorly all year. And now we have this announcement by your finance minister that the government is going to be paying SSL's operational expenses to the tune of $15 million a month. So I have this question from Instagram. Why do taxpayers have to pay for SSL's criminal operations, quote unquote? How are we being held accountable and not those governing that corrupt entity?
Now I think this is the first and the only interview I've seen. I don't know if you have done others, but this is the only one I've seen where the Prime Minister addressed the SSL situation. And as you can see, he did it on that show with this financial guru. This lady, she know everything about finance and everything, and she was asking the Prime Minister some serious question pertaining to the economy and the growth of the country and everything. It's on there on the YouTube, you can go watch it after. But she asked him about the SSL saga, why taxpayers' money has to pay for the investigation of SSL, and the Prime Minister's response was that he has to keep the workers of SSL on so that the investigators could have access to the computers. And this investigation is the public want the government to find out what happened with the SSL saga and return back the money of these persons who lost their money in SSL. But however, here in 2025, we are now seeing where the government is totally silent on this situation. No one hasn't get back their money. Nothing hasn't come from the report where the taxpayers them did fund for 2 months, as he said. And yet still, the report that was done from the investigation is being withheld from lawyers, from even the people them that who lost their money. Now, all my smart thinking person who can think for themselves and who have a honesty, have moral, listen to what the Prime Minister says out his own mouth. This is his own words. His own words. And your own words can be held against you.
So PM, over on Instagram and TikTok, by far the number one question that people wanted me to ask you was about SSL. We know that the entire situation has eroded investor confidence. The markets have been performing poorly all year. And now we have this announcement by your finance minister that the government is going to be paying SSL's operational expenses to the tune of $15 million a month. So I have this question from Instagram. Why do taxpayers have to pay for SSL's criminal operations, quote unquote? How are we being held accountable and not those governing that corrupt entity?
Yeah, I do share the sentiment, and I can understand how people feel about the SSL matter. But I just wanted to be clear, SSL, in the grand scheme of Jamaica's non-bank financial sector, it would be relatively small, but its impact and the signal it sends is one that is disturbing on several levels. It hasn't really, in my estimation, shaken the financial system, thank God. There are robust institutions and a strong regulatory framework, though it did show up some areas that need to be tightened up. But on a social level, it has raised this issue about whether or not private decisions that lead to business or financial failure, whether or not those private decisions should be, as they say, socialized into public debt. So when private businesses make profit, the public doesn't really benefit. I mean, the public may get taxes and so forth, but the private person holds the majority of the benefit. So the public is right in asking, why should the public then have to pay for fraud or poor management of an institution? I want to repeat my position, which I had made very clear, that the government of Jamaica will not be in any way taking on any debt of any private institution that has failed. We're not going to bail out any private institution that has failed. We went through FinSAC, and we are determined not to repeat that in any way, shape, or form. But the public is also asking that this matter be thoroughly investigated. The public is also asking that this matter be thoroughly investigated. The public is also asking that this matter be thoroughly investigated. The public is also asking that this matter be thoroughly investigated, and the government made a commitment to thoroughly investigate the matter. And the government made a commitment to thoroughly investigate the matter. And the government made a commitment to thoroughly investigate the matter. It is one of those conundrums, because in order for the matter to be thoroughly investigated, even with the FID and with the appointment of a special investigator to deal with this matter, and with the regulatory authorities also supervising, the truth is that we need the staff of SSL to keep the computer systems up and running. The truth is that we need the staff of SSL to keep the computer systems up and running. The truth is that we need the staff of SSL to keep the computer systems up and running.
Now, he said the truth is that he need the computer to stay up and running. But the computer stay up and running, and you pay the money for the computer up and running, so the investigator could get the information. But the information, instead of we receive information, is like the information disappear, because we don't receive no information. So it's like we pay really to make these people stay on work for the information to disappear. Because where is the information, and HOLNESS, what we pay for? Stop ramp with people, brother, and get me upset here, brother. Where is the information? Now, on a serious note, number 28, where is the information that the public asks you for?
The public is also asking that this matter be thoroughly investigated, and the government made a commitment to thoroughly investigate the matter.
We now get the information. We need some information on this issue, and we pay a fee already. We don't pay a fee already, you know. Stop playing with the public. Stop it.
We need the staff of SSL to maintain the records. It would be a far more expensive exercise if SSL were to close tomorrow and the staff goes home, and then the investigators on their own having to try and piece together the puzzle.
What a load of nonsense coming from the Prime Minister, because I said it's nonsense. If the staff stay on alongside the investigator and we end up with nil, maybe, just maybe, if the investigator did the investigation by themselves, as he said, it would have been a more expensive cost. But just maybe these investigators by themselves would have found more than the workers staying on with the investigators, where now the both of them find nothing. The workers on with the investigators on will end up with nothing. And I bet if the investigators were investigating by themselves, would have a better result. Because we don't have no result right now. More than number 28, silence.
So I think the Minister of Finance found himself in this quandary where, having known my very strong position that we're not bailing out any company, having now to see to it that the infrastructure to facilitate the investigation, which the public would want, to see come to some conclusion, that we ended up having to pay for, but only a short time, the maintenance of the staff. None of this is going to the principals of SSL or indeed to anyone who had invested in SSL. This is primarily just to keep the operation there, which is necessary to facilitate the investigation. I just wanted to emphasize that. So, which is necessary to facilitate the investigation. I just wanted to emphasize that. So, which is necessary to facilitate the investigation. I just wanted to emphasize that. So,
now I'm open and following the viewers. Hear what he says, you know. He's saying that it was necessary, and he's emphasizing it. He might emphasize to us that it is necessary for these workers to stay on to facilitate the investigation. Why was they so necessary when they so necessary end up with nil in the investigation? Nobody get back their money, no information, nobody arrested, nothing. So why was it so necessary for pay 3 months, 45 million to these workers for do investigation, plus the FIB have to get pay as well, cause taxpayers money pay them for do whatever investigation them do, for all for nothing. All for Usain Bolt now for come out and talk about the money again after the man waited 2 years. Come on now, people, talk to me in the comment section, man.
Which is necessary to facilitate the investigation. I just wanted to emphasize that. So my point is, I feel just like how everyone feels in the public, that, you know, the principals of SSL or people who invest there, you know, the public is not going to pay for that. But what the public would want to see is that we are able to track and trace and recover the funds that have been defrauded and have it returned to the people who were defrauded of their funds, and that is the cost of actually getting that done.
So you hear that, all my smart thinking viewers and subscribers. The Prime Minister said the public wanted the government to do the investigation to recover back the funds. So that was the reason why they spent 30 million, which was 2 months worth of salary, to the workers of SNL to keep the computers running so that the investigators could get the necessary information to solve this problem and give back all the person who invested back their money.
I just wanted to emphasize that. I just wanted to emphasize that. I just wanted to emphasize that.
Now, it's fair to say, Mr. Prime Minister, that You spend 30 million of taxpayers' money, and yet still, after the investigation, we still hear the public still hear confused. The investors them still haven't get back nothing. So clearly you have disappointed the public that you say you're gonna use the money to solve the problem, but you still haven't solved the problem, and then you just gone quiet. Come on, Mr. Holiness, man, have a heart, man. Come on, labor rights, man, have a heart. Uno government say, uno, the public wanted the investigation and nothing hasn't come from the investigation. So much billions of taxpayers' money has been spent already in the investigation. So won't tell me say, it's there, his words, not mine. He telling her he used 2 months them pay for the salary for the workers as SNL were 15 million a month, and they paid it for 2 months, so that 30 million they paid to keep the workers on, so an investigation can go on. And now in 2025, may I repeat it, put it on the head, Usain Bolt, all of these individual 70-year-old lady, 60 million, all gone, and nothing has returned. Me nah lie, me nah make this up, I'm not delusional. It's there. What kind of man is this? Don't you see he deceived the public? No, the only thing that the public has from this investigation are from the 30 million you spend of the public money is this Kroll report. And look what you doing. You holding on to it. You give cliff views and them little bits of it for company nationwide and broadcast. What kind of government does that? What kind of man are you? What kind of man does that? Where is the respect for the public? We are the ones who put you there, and we are the ones that gonna take you back down because your behavior is unaccepted. Yes, I'm not saying you haven't done good, but you're bad. Overweight, you're good, bruv.
But what the public would want to see is that we are able to track and trace and recover the funds that have been defrauded and have it returned. But what the public would want to see is that we are able to track and trace and recover the funds that have been defrauded and have it returned. But what the public would want to see is that we are able to track and trace and recover the funds that have been defrauded and have it returned to the people who were defrauded. To the people who were defrauded, who were defrauded, who were defrauded of their funds, and that is the cost of actually getting that done.
Is there a deadline on how long the government is going to continue paying these operational expenses?
I had a briefing last night from the Minister of Finance, and it's very difficult. I asked the same question. Very difficult to establish a time, as in a date, but I've been assured that the investigations are at an advanced stage. The FID reported progress to us last week, but I've been assured that the investigations are at an advanced stage. The FID reported progress to us last week, but I've been assured that the investigations are at an advanced stage. The FID reported progress to us last week, and so is that any support would be very short term, and I interpret short term to be months, 2 or 3.
So my viewers, this interview was done in 2023, and him said the FIB was at an advanced stage and they reported back to him and Nigel Clark. You heard it from his mouth in this interview. So the investigation is at an advanced stage, and him say, I was saying a 2 month salary, as you hear out his mouth, it might be 2 or maybe 3.
And interpret short term to be months, 2 or 3.
So if a 3 months at 15 million, that means a 45 million that for 3 months to pay the workers for the investigation. And the investigation was at an advanced stage, according to his words, from the FIB, Federal Bureau of Investigation. So how comes now in 2025 you cannot come out and speak about nothing in the investigation? We haven't seen no result where people get back their money and you just gone silent. My God.
Okay. All right. So the last thing I really want to ask you about, PM, is crime. That was another one that a lot of people understand.
Now let's look at crime. In my last broadcast, the Commissioner of Police said he have no apology for the action of the JCF in the unalive of 52 individuals since the start of the year. Now, they made a report say 27% reduction when compared to last year of 143, meaning they are saying last year they had a total of 143 unalive person at this corresponding period compared to this year where is 104 unalive recorded up to February 22nd. Jamaica has surpassed the 100 unalive mark for 2025. That's according to the latest statistic from the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF. So we have surpassed the 100 unalive mark so far since the year. Now we see where the police commissioner saying he owes no apology. But watch the reasoning. The unalive rate of person right now is 104 person get unalive. Now if we for add the 50 odd person that get unalive by the security force, that makes us a total of how much unalive? Wanna check it up. So what we seeing here is that the JCF is unaliving almost half the amount of person that actually being unalive by just individual out there in society. So when we look at it, it's like more people is getting unalive because more people are get unalive by the security force, while more people are still getting unalive by individual. Is not much of a difference. Last year we had 143 unalive this period. This year we have 104 unalive this period. But when we add on the amount of unalive by the security force, we end up with more unalive than last year. So I don't know. You can tell me if it makes any sense. These report what they putting out when we now see it in society. That's how we have to view it, because the security force can't just keep unaliving people, but the overall rate is not really, substantial. Well, you can let me know what you think about that down in the comment section, because this just shows that the country that heading in the right direction. Alright, let's see how much person gonna be unalive by the end of the year by the security force, and how many person are gonna be unalive by just individual out in the street. But I don't think this government are gonna be in power that long for we to see, because me aiming for change this, because we can't continue like this, Jamaica.
We do have plans to build particularly high security prisons to ensure that those people who we are currently incarcerating, those very dangerous high value criminals, are not able to stay from within the walls of the prison and direct crime outside. In terms of timeline, it is not in this budget, but the development of the prison is in the process.
Now, Mr. HOLNESS, it doesn't matter how much high security, maximum security prison you provided. You might feel like me at this ain't me say you feel look under your nose, because the corruption is right there underneath your nose. Because this is just all waste attack. Because until you look under your nose and see that these high security prisoners will still have access to the equipment them to continue to commit crime out a road. It doesn't matter how much money you spend for secure the prisoner them. Maybe just take a minute to look at the employees at the prison, the governors at the prison that are taking money from these inmates for bringing these contraband into the prison. My God, why we are gonna keep going round and round in circles? Why can't you understand? You have to all these person that should be responsible for enforcing the rules and the laws. They are the one that are making everything bad, cause they get away with everything. It's like they are untouchable. Their crime doesn't deserve for them to be behind bars with these criminals there. These people are no different from the criminal. They are getting paid to watch. Now I wonder if me alone notices how this man does love make promises. That's all he does, is make promises, when it's clear to see that anything with to do with helping the poor is lost on his agenda. Look at the condition of the current prison. Ask Vibes Cartel. Remember Vibes Cartel tell us a scandal bag him off his shitty now. Remember now? You stay there. Now you and the police commissioner adamant that these gunmen should turn over themselves to the police. Well, at least make the prison humanly acceptable. Yo, put for the joke aside, you know. You have some youth over here, you know, where I tell you, you know, them love prison. Cause I say to them go to prison over here, them have no rent to pay, 3 square meals a day, free TV, free internet, free Wi-Fi, and them in an environment where help them, because a lot of them have issues, unseen issues, like many of the youths in Jamaica that Jamaica government don't understand and is not compassionate about these issues concerning these youths. Enough of them are going through a lot, and these are many of the reasons why they act out like how they act out and turn to weapons and turn to criminality. So all of these things have to have a balance. This barbaric approach.
You will either meet a judge or your maker.
Where is the compassion? You cannot be a leader without compassion. Provide a prison that if you say, well, yeah, take them off of the street. I not say if you build hotel for them, you know. But we are all human beings and you can't treat them like animal. Nobody, no one going to them there. Prison there. Them rather dead more than going to them the prison there. So stop telling you them about say them fi put on them weapon and go in at that. Provide some place to them that means if them put on them weapon and them say them want turning themselves, at least them know say well, you know what I mean, they can still feel like a human and still go there and better themselves and come back out of society a better person. Not that you want for Jamaica. Yeah? So that's inhumane. You can't have prisoner in such condition. It's unlawful. So it should have been priority for you to build that maximum prison, brother, where them have toilet and facilities we can accommodate these individuals while the rest of them life is being locked away. Just imagine uno laborite, uno child in that condition and him go stay in that for the rest of him life. Uno need to go look on the documentary the man show you say a line the man them line up a empty piss, and if you make all the piss touch all a man shoes or a man foot. Remember me tell you man years ago, my God, why we are such a savage nation to our own brother and sister. And then you have some people that cheer these people on and say, yeah, this supposed to happen. I know the funny thing, we are all human and you never know where you might step out and your foot might lead you. So how can you say that? Doesn't you feel like these criminals, they do it in other country, they treat them with respect and treat treat them with dignity, and enough of them come back out of prison and do so good for society. Why we as Jamaican, why we as a nation can't have that for our prisoners as well? Look at how Vybz Kartel come out of prison. Look at the man and look at him now. If he had spent another minute in a prison, the man heart probably would have stopped. And that's what prison does to people in Jamaica. It doesn't make them a better individual unless they have a strong mind. Because even though Kartel body was in prison, his mind was the only thing kept him alive. His mind was out a road, saying I get free. And him never ever have a doubt in his mind that he wouldn't be free. It's just a matter of hold on. His physical health was failing him, but his mind was strong that kept him going. And me say, oh no, people of Jamaica waste on a mind because on a run by no man. A man is not God.
This is Julian Robinson, spokesman on finance for the People's National Party. I'm here to set the record straight on the SSL scandal and to address the false claims made by JLP Senator Apka Fitz-Henley. The truth is, in 2013, under the PNP administration, we took decisive action to protect Jamaican investors. The FSC issued a directive requiring SSL to suspend critical activities due to breaches of the Securities Act. But in 2017, under the JLP administration, those restrictions were lifted.
Now that's the spokesman for the PNP, Julian Roberts. And as he said, he's setting the record straight. So if anyone have a problem with this and feel like said the man a tell a lie, take him to court. Because the man say must set the record straight. In 2013, SSL was closed down by the People's National Party. In 2017, number honorable 28 give them back permission for open up back operation. Yeah. Now, who own SNL in 2017 when number 28, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, give back this fraudulent company that was closed down in 2013 by the PNP permission to open up back? Who was the owner? Let's see.
So who owns SSL and what exactly does this company do? SSL was established in 2017 by Mark Croskery, the former CEO of Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, a brokerage and securities dealer firm in Jamaica.
So, who is Mark Croskery? Mark Croskery, the son of Hugh Croskery, the owner of SSL. In 2013, anytime the PNP shut it down, so him do, him pass it on to him son, Mark Croskery. Now, Andrew HOLNESS give the permission for that for happen. Yeah? Fair? Okay.
SSL was established in 2017 by Mark Croskery, the former CEO of Stocks and Securities Limited, SSL, a brokerage and securities dealer firm in Jamaica. SSL Investment Company is a subsidiary of SSL Venture Capital Jamaica Limited, listed on the Jamaica Stocks Exchange. In 2017, the company commenced its operations in Jamaica by acquiring stakes in 3 local firms: Blue Dot Data Intelligence Limited, Muse 360 Integrated Limited, and Bar Central Limited. So how was the fraud discovered? The SSL fraud was discovered by an initial internal investigation by the investment firm, after it unearthed irregularities believed to be fraud by at least one former employee. The firm reported the fraud to the Financial Services Commission on January 10, 2023, after taking a statement from the implicated ex-employee on January 7th. The fraud involved the siphoning off of money from investors' accounts, including retired sprinter Usain Bolt, who lost over $12 million in stocks and bonds. The fraud was allegedly perpetrated over a period of time and involved bypassing of controls through forgery, manipulation of SSL's IT systems and email addresses, and interception of disbursements for accounts in commercial banks. No, this is an investigation that is still ongoing and involves several law enforcement agencies, including the Financial Investigation Division, the Fraud Squad, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations.
Now, my viewers, I want you to think out the box for a minute, cause here we have the FID, Federal Investigation Division. We have the Scam Unit, MOCA. We have the FIB, Federal Bureau of Investigation. And you're telling me all of these highly credited crime fighting organization cannot unfold what happened in SNL? It make me scratch my head. Can you tell me, say, when number 28 say, oh, is crime fighting force are the best and they are intelligent and they are this? Well, this just proves wrong, that they aren't so intelligent, because these criminals that mastermind this SNL scam, Ponzi scheme, and hundreds of innocent Jamaica who invested in this company, they get paid how much billions for do investigation and they come up with nothing. Boy, and you only say put them to shame, boy. Remember me tell you, man, you put them to shame, them supposed to feel shame. If you know, say, them have this big name and they are so credible and them can't find nothing in the SNL case. That's bad. So what kind of country we have? What kind of country we have? All of these highly credible crime fighting organization cannot come up with nothing pertaining to these criminals, these mastermind who conduct this atrocity on hundreds of innocent Jamaicans. Holiness, you know, say if you shut down that, you know, say if you shut down all of them organization there, cause they are pointless having them, cause them no spell no sense. Them what kind of big name them there? FBI, FID, MOCA, and nothing? No brother, something to write there, so.
The FSC discontinued proceedings to suspend SSL's license based on the company's claims of compliance. And what happened next? In 2023, the massive fraud was uncovered, which has devastated hundreds of Jamaicans, thousands actually. So Senator Fitzhenley's claim that the PNP took no action is a blatant lie. The facts are clear. The PNP actually acted to protect investors, while the JLP's decision to lift restrictions left Jamaicans vulnerable. Today, I'm repeating my call for transparency and accountability in the SSL issue. Has the Kroll report, a forensic audit of SSL from 2010 to 2023, been released, even to the court-appointed liquidator? And if so, why not? This report is critical to understanding the full scope of the fraud and the failures in oversight that allowed it to happen. The public has a right to know the truth. The administration must stop hiding behind excuses and release the report without further delay. Jamaica deserves better.
Minister of Finance, and it's very difficult, I asked the same question, very difficult to establish a time, as in a date, but I've been assured that the investigations are at an advanced stage. The FIB reported progress to us last week, and so is that any support would be very short term, and I interpret short term to be months, 2 or 3.
So number 28, hold on the information to the IC pertaining to his statutory declaration, and now here we see him holding on onto the information, the Kroll report that could give us a clearer understanding, or the investigators, the lawyers, a clearer understanding of this SNL situation, and he's holding on to the report. So what that says about this man? What that says about this government? They doesn't want transparency. Now here we have him, as usual, blaming everything on the youths of Jamaica. and always bypassing the ones them that are really responsible, the ones them that are encouraging these youths, the ones them that have the money where the youths them can call and say, "Wagwan bossy, send me a thing no," and bossy can call the youth and say, "Yeah, hear me, go down there so, couple strap there on there so, car one go round there so." You understand what I say to you? The big man, why is it they always being bypassed? And these are the reasons why criminality will not finish in Jamaica. Because we can clearly see that the leaders doesn't want criminality to end. Because it start from the top. I mean, now stop say it. Number 28, look under your nose.
We have to change our mindset. We have to stop seeing the criminals as disenfranchised youth who the system fight against. And we need to start to see them as the system that is limiting the true potential of the country. They are the cause of you not wanting to come home. They are the cause of you leaving. They are the cause of the travel advisories. They are the cause of the insecurity. And while we will always leave a door open for them to change their ways and join the hardworking members of the society, they must know that Jamaica is not going to tolerate them anymore.
You will either meet a judge or your maker.
This is a telephone call. Go for the gun. See that boy over there, so he might go work at 8 o'clock. You wait at this stoplight, and when him stop, deal with him case. That's organized violence. Call my friend in Miami and say, "Hey, think them get busted, police gone with them, send down a new set." Organized criminality. And that must be dealt with in the harshest way possible. And that is why we have made the investments now. When you look at the JCF today, in terms of man and material, it's an information-driven organization, and I am very proud to say that the JCF is doing an amazing job in confronting the very dangerous criminals in Jamaica, and they have my 100% support.
Okay, Mr. Number 28. Yes, you said it's organized crime, yeah? And them call them friend of Miami and them, the guns them just come down, yeah? Okay? But have you asked yourself, yeah, how them get to the airport? It's an organized crime. Have you asked yourself, who is the boss of these youths? Maybe you should try and get the boss them first. And then you see the gun them stop reach the youth them in the country. Make some sense to this, man. Stop just blame the youths them. It's time. You stop it. Stop it, Andrew number 28. Stop it. It's time. You look at the organized crime. You look at the head. Look under your nose. The criminal them right there under your nose. These politicians, these police, these rich individual, we have links out of airport, we have links out of wharf. At them, why you not look upon them? Why you only look upon the small man them, the small youth them? What's wrong with you, man? We tired of your bullshit, you know. Look at the politician them. I'm not tell you again, I'm not stop expose them and put them in your face. And you see them and take accountability. Put them away so that you can have a better Jamaica. We can't pretend. We can't turn a blind eye to what number 28 Andrew Holness doing. Usain Bolt not telling no lie. This 78-year-old lady not telling no lie. These other 300 individuals that lost their investment in SNL, asking themselves, why aren't they coming out and talk about their money? And if you think I'm lying that they are scared, it's simply, you know, ask yourself, if you had invest your 60 million Jamaican dollar in SNL and it just missing labor right, what you would do? Would you just be quiet about it? Okay. Ask yourself, why is it? It's only one person get back money from SNL. One person. You don't know who it is. Come on, Jamaica. Me not talk to GLP or PNP in this one. Me talk to Jamaica. Cause Jamaica me talk for, you know. Me want to see a better Jamaica. Where politicians have to be held accountable. Police officers have to be held accountable. It hurt to see Member of Parliament Everall Wormington, how strongly him come out and defend George Wright, the woman beater. And then the hurtful thing about it, you see woman there a cheer him on. But you know what? From my experience growing up in Jamaica, I always say, man, I beat them woman. And them love it. But it's always in the ghetto area you see them thing there. It's like the woman them at Jamaica. Them like bad man with big hood. Talk about them throat hole, make them throat sore. Talk about them belly. Treat them like a prostitute. And they will do anything for you. Them run up and down for these bad man. Where them call bad man and do anything. Carry any amount of gun for them. Any amount of drugs. Do anything. While you have a next set, a woman in Jamaica. But just like a decent man. A humble man. A working class man. A family man. A husband. That treat her with respect and common decency. The labor right ladies them no want them man there. The 9 to 5 man them with decent and treat them with respect. Them want the old dirty corner labor right boy them. You understand? Yeah. Can you see them all over? Wormington are one of them. How can he come out and defend that and have the audacity to say they are members of the PNP that do this and do that, so why they talking about George Wright? No. The labor right them cheering on and saying, oh yes, yes, yes. That's how dunce and intelligent they are. Them are waste them brain space. Because if Mr. Wormington was a man of any integrity and him know say there are such members on the PNP, why you never come out before now? Or why you didn't come out and say these things instead of coming out saying these things in the defense of a wrongdoer? Now, where I live, I know say with George Wright being seen on the video beating the woman, even if the woman got caught and said, well, he never meant to do it, and I love him and I want to marry him. By the law, he breaks the law. and she cannot save him, a go get done. Him cannot go nowhere near Parliament. His political career is over. And this is why UK is like how it is, because the law is respected. The law in Jamaica is not respected by the very people them that are making the laws. They are the one who break it. But if you break it, you are going to prison. Your life are going to get destroyed. But if you're a politician, or if you're one of the elite, or you have money, you are exempt from all of these laws. This is why Jamaica is how it is. I will put out for the reason, you know. Can't be right. Jamaica, we have to set an example. We have to get rid of corruption once and for all out of the nation. We have to stamp it out.